Hello. So I wanted to do this real quick before I have to get ready to go out for breakfast for my birthday. Wanted to go over this new foundation that I've been using, and it's a little bit of a controversial foundation, but I got it during the 21 Days of Beauty sale at Ulta. It was on sale for $23. It was like half off, which is the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. If you guys don't know the controversy, you can look it up. I won't get too much into it, but it was basically when it came out, they didn't have a color range, really. They had like two very dark colors. The rest of it was like a lot of very light shades. I went ahead and purchased this because now they have a larger range of colors, and then I actually was exposed to their double duty hydrating foundation through some samples. So that was before this foundation came out, and I loved it. It was the first full coverage foundation I've ever used, and I just loved the feeling of it. I have very dry skin, and I noticed that even the texture of my skin had changed. Like, I was sitting at work and I touched my face and I was like, whoa, the texture is softer and smoother, and I really liked it. And I like that I never used a full coverage foundation before, and I really enjoyed it. And then I found out that they discontinued it and that it was being remarketed and rebranded as this Shape Tape foundation, but the color range was really terrible, and some people said the formula wasn't the same, some people said it was, but it was like mixed differently. So if you're expecting the same as that double duty hydrating foundation, that you would be disappointed. So I did not purchase it for a while, but then the fact is that I could get it for $23 to try it out. I thought, why not? So there's the hydrating version in the matte, and I like hydrating foundations because, again, I'm very dry, and the hydrating, I just like that dewy finish anyway. I think it's a little bit more youthful looking. So I'm going to show you kind of quickly how it looks when you're putting it on. Now, I have been playing, I dropped it. I have been playing around with this, so I learned how to utilize it. It does not go on very well with a brush. For whatever reason, this formula just does not stretch as well, and so I found that by using a wet sponge, that works the best. I use your regular triangle sponges. I have never used a beauty blender, but if you're a beauty blender kind of person, probably works fabulous with that. Now you get this doe foot applicator, which people hate because it's not very hygienic. I personally never put foundation on my face directly because I have a toddler and pink eye is real. And so I've learned from getting pink eye and having to throw away all my makeup and all my skincare products that, to be on the safe side, I just put everything on the back of my hand and I switch what fingers I use, and then this I use the sponge. So I just put a little bit on the back. I really just put the doe foot, I take whatever is on there and I put it on there. I do need to use a little bit more than normal for most full coverage concealer or foundations, but that's okay. And then I just realized I don't have a mirror, so I'm going to grab a little baby mirror. So I just take a wet sponge and I just dab it on my face. And then, I always grab like too much for one cheek and not enough for the other. So I think I'm going to have to grab a little bit more foundation. Oops. So I'll take this and I'll put a little bit on the back of my hands. So it is a thick formula. Like I said, I don't really, this first like full coverage foundation I've used was that sample of the hydrating version, the double duty hydrating, that came in a jar. And I never purchased that when I could. I mean, you can still get it on various websites, not on like Ulta and Sephora, but I never did because of, it was in a jar, so I wasn't really sure if I wanted to invest in a jar, like how long will that last. And then also it was like $50 at the time, which I know foundations are expensive now, but I mean, you can get other ones for $38. So that's why I hesitated. So here's what it looks like on. So it goes on, I think, very nicely with a wet sponge. I was incredibly disappointed when I used a brush. I used the It Cosmetics foundation brush that I got during a sale, and I love it, and it just did not work with this foundation at all. So wet sponge or beauty blender. Now I don't have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer because I've been actually using this guy. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is a full coverage foundation concealer, and I actually purposely got this because I needed something more full coverage that would work with a full coverage foundation. I like it. I think I'll probably try a different formula when I run out of this, because I do feel like I have little fine lines, and I feel like it does crease, and it makes my fine lines more exacerbated, I guess, but it's not so bad that I discontinued using it or want to return it. But it is full coverage. One thing that I really enjoyed when I got this was it like really clicks. When you're closing it, you feel it click, and I don't know why, it's very satisfying to me. But anyways, again, I'll put a little bit on the back of my hands. And I'll go ahead and do my concealer. So I don't do anything crazy with my concealer. I don't put a ton on my face. I know there are people who will go like all, like just do a ton. I just don't do that unless I'm using like a brightening, like a light coverage to medium coverage brightening kind of concealer. I'll bring it down and over, and that ends up being really nice. But with this kind of concealer, if I'm really just overall what I'm looking to do is just cover my dark circles, I just will utilize it to cover my dark circles, because this concealer is not really brightening. And I like to use my fingers. I know some people like to use sponges or like their brushes. I really just, I don't know, I'm very old school obviously, because I'm using like the old-fashioned like triangle sponges, but I don't know, it works for me right now, so I'm good with it. I need a little bit more concealer. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and actually, let me tell you what I'm using. It's the Benefits Browsing. I love it. It's the only thing I use on my brows. I have this in the shade 4. For whatever reason, they don't go by the shades anymore, but it's actually my second time purchasing it. I love it. This is what it looks like on the inside. It comes with a brush, and it comes with tweezers. And these two colors, one is a dark waxy color and one is a powder. But let me go ahead and do my eyebrows. Okay, so finished my brows. So really, that's about it. I'm not going to do a full eye look because I don't have time. I'll probably do one a little bit later. But I just wanted to show you the finish of this foundation. And actually what I probably could do is show you what it looks like if I put a full face like kind of contour on, but I don't have anything with me right now, so I won't. But here's what it looks like, and actually let me go ahead and get stuff so you can see what it looks like with things on, and I won't look like such a monotone monster. Okay, one moment. Fast ever. But I didn't put on false lashes because I just don't have time, because my mom's here, we've got to go. But I wanted to show you what the foundation looks like with makeup on. So overall, it's not bad. I like the finish. For some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just because I really enjoyed it, but it doesn't seem like the same finish as from the original Double Duty Hydrating Foundation. But otherwise, it's not bad It's not super dewy, but the one thing about it that I really like is it does still change your skin texture. My skin is so soft, it's so smooth, and it feels that way even after a few days of not using the foundation, because I am switching between that Shape Tape and the It Cosmetics Bye Bye, what am I using? The Your Skin But Better foundation. This is another guy that I've been using, and I'll do that in another video. I do actually prefer this, I think, over the Shape Tape, but otherwise the Shape Tape, it was $23. It's a great deal. Will I repurchase it once I run out of it? I think I'm going to try other brands because I'm not in love with it. I do wish it went on better with a brush because it's just easier, but it goes on very well with a wet sponge. I like it. It lasts except for around the nose area, like if you're, whenever, you know, you blow your nose or whatever, it doesn't stay, but it lasts everywhere. It doesn't really crease. It has a nice finish. I like it. I know if you're the type of person that likes a super full coverage foundation, it's not super full coverage, and even when you try to build it up, it really doesn't. I think it gets a little bit patchy, but overall I like it, but I think there's probably better stuff on the market, because like I said, I am really actually preferring the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation. But overall, not a bad item to get, especially when you can get it on sale. But here is the look. I hope you enjoy it, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.